Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Benefits Cooldown. I'm still Eric. That is still Ed. Ed, the last couple of weeks we talked about 2022. We're living in the past, man. Let's talk about 2023. Let's talk about trends and things that we think are going to continue and or balloon into 2023. You're up first. Go for it.
All right. I'll keep this short and sweet for you. So last episode, we talked about defined contributions and telemedicine and things of that nature and then some products. I think, and I wouldn't call this a product, but you mentioned something that I think is definitely going to be a point of focus this year, which is mental health. But what does mental health really mean, right? Because there's so many different ways you can access mental health, whether it's just content, whether it's podcasts, whether it's more active sessions with someone in person, virtually. And then, of course, how do you pay for it too? So I think this whole aspect, our industry needs to do better with it, honestly, in my opinion. And so I think there's going to be a lot more innovation in how to make that part of the ecosystem and easier to access and easier from an affordability standpoint. But I do think that employers are going to spend a lot more time focusing on that part, especially of their benefit plans, because they're realizing that if they're not, there are going to be employers that are going to focus on that. And that affects productivity as well, right?
Well, but let me see. I'm curious your opinion. It was just a month ago when the whole world was shocked by Stephen Boss, aka Twitch, from the Ellen DeGeneres show. He puts on the public persona. I'm not beating up the guy. I thought he was awesome, but it's human nature to put on a persona, right? And that everything's happy-go-lucky, everything's fine, and that's what the public saw. He's a celebrity, right? And he took his own life. I mean, the mental health is not going away with respect to continuously needing to talk about it. What are your thoughts?
Well, first and foremost, with that situation, I mean, there's so many like it, right?
Right.
Twitch was somewhat of a hero to me. I followed him from his So You Think You Can Dance days up until his marriage.
I watched it right with you, me and my wife. My God.
No shame in watching that show.
No, none.
But it just goes to show that just because you see, social media can be kind of deceptive in that way, because you go through all his posts. I'm sure a lot of people did that. It's nothing but him smiling or putting on all these dance shows, and him and his family are doing fantastic. But behind that persona is someone who's potentially hurting. I don't know the real story, right? We don't know. And who knows if we ever will know.
Right.
But he is just one of many individuals who are struggling, and who knows if he had access to, or what kind of intervention there maybe could, I don't know, right? There's zero speculation on that aspect. But the same goes for in our industry or any industry. Just mental health is here to stay. It's definitely not something that's going away. And one thing I am happy about from the pandemic is that we can talk about it, right? I feel like this is an area where you felt ashamed, especially as men too. As men, you're ashamed to talk about seeing a therapist, or ashamed to talk about the fact that you're struggling from a mental perspective. We have to put on the persona that we're doing great all the time. And I think that transparency is key, and getting that help is key. And so I'm glad it's no longer something taboo to talk about. And unfortunately, there is no shortage of options out there right now. Is it going to be better? Yeah, I think there's going to be a massive focus on it, just globally, not even just within the benefit world, just globally. And so, yeah. That is my.
No, I mean, I agree. And we talked offline too. I mean, frankly, a lot of the stuff we talked about in our 2022 recap, we do, I think, passionately believe will continue to trend upward and continue to grow, which I think is great. But I'm glad you touched on the mental health component, because I do think that's going to even be a bigger hot button in 23 than it was even in 2022, 21, and it was big in those years. So look, it's already been a while. Let's close this one out. Next week, I'll give my quick take on 2023, what I think is going to be hot and continue growing. I have a couple other ideas, a little inside knowledge that I've been messing around with. So I think there's going to be some scoop given on our next episode. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, that was really just me talking out of that's fine. That's okay. No big deal. If you're listening, we appreciate you. If you're watching, we love you. If you want to add any comments or share, we'd appreciate that even more. And until next week, make it a great rest of your day. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Ed.